It sounds crazy, but that's how women want to be treated. Machiavelli. Everything you were taught about how to treat women was designed to make you harmless, polite, available, predictable, and that version of you doesn't lose attraction loudly. He loses it silently, through diminishing presence, fading respect, and emotional demotion that no one ever explains. If you continue treating women the way you were told was right, you won't be rejected. You'll be tolerated. And that is worse. So let me ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time you did everything correctly? Listened, cared, showed interest, respected boundaries, and still felt her energy cool down, her tone shift, her attention quietly pull away? That moment was not confusion. It was hierarchy being decided without your consent. Few men ever notice this because it doesn't feel like a mistake. There is no argument, no accusation, no dramatic ending, just a subtle loss of gravity. And gravity is what decides desire. Ignore this and you don't just lose attraction, you lose the position from which attraction could even exist. Most men learn this too late. First break in belief. Women do not want to be treated gently, they want to be treated accurately. And accuracy has nothing to do with being nice, agreeable, or emotionally transparent. It has everything to do with how much internal structure a man carries. A man without structure compensates with behavior. A man with structure doesn't need to. Here is the first truth Machiavelli would never state directly. The more a man adapts himself to be liked, the more power he hands away. Adaptation signals dependency. Dependency signals vulnerability. And vulnerability, when it is not chosen but necessary, destroys leverage. Most men believe explaining intentions creates trust. It doesn't. It creates predictability, and predictability kills tension. Tension is not conflict. Tension is unresolved attention. The moment everything about you is clear, what you want, how you feel, where this is going, the psychological game collapses. There is nothing left for her mind to invest in. The dynamic in action. The common man clarifies. The conscious man contains. The common man fills silence. The conscious man lets silence work. The common man reacts emotionally. The conscious man stays internally consistent, and consistency always outranks intensity. Women don't consciously say this, but their nervous system reacts immediately. A man who spills everything early feels light. A man who carries weight feels rare, and rarity reorganizes attention. Second belief destroyed. Most men think women want reassurance. They don't. They want orientation. They want to feel that the man in front of them is not emotionally negotiating his place. A man who needs reassurance cannot lead emotional space. He is too busy stabilizing himself. This is why trying is fatal. Trying is noisy. Trying leaks urgency. Trying exposes fear of loss. And fear of loss flips the hierarchy instantly. The man who understands this does not become cold. He becomes unmoved. He does not rush to secure outcomes. He allows outcomes to form around his presence. First major revelation. What women respond to. First is not how you treat them, but how much you do not need their reaction to remain whole. This is where most men collapse. They believe emotional investment proves value. In reality, emotional independence establishes it. A man who treats a woman as the center of his emotional stability loses polarity. A man who treats her as a welcome addition to a complete life gains it, not through manipulation, through structure. This is why men who are calm under uncertainty dominate emotional space. They do not chase clarity. They tolerate ambiguity, and tolerance of ambiguity is power. Contrast. The common man accelerates connection. The conscious man maintains rhythm. The common man seeks confirmation. The conscious man observes. The common man reacts to shifts. The conscious man becomes the reference point those shifts orbit around. And here is the second turning point most men miss. The problem was never how she wanted to be treated. The problem was who you were being while treating her that way. This is where the real game begins. Because once you understand this, you stop adjusting behavior and start adjusting state. And state decides everything. This channel, Coded Psychology, exists to expose exactly these silent mechanics. Not to moralize, not to motivate, but to reveal what most men sense and never articulate. At this point, most men feel an internal resistance, because what is being revealed here contradicts the identity they were rewarded for building. The agreeable man, the emotionally available man, the man who proves value through effort, and letting go of that identity feels like losing morality, when in reality, it is losing weakness. The core mistake that keeps repeating: most men believe power in relationships comes from emotional generosity, more understanding, more patience, more accommodation. But generosity without structure is submission. And submission, when not consciously chosen, kills desire. Women don't lose interest because a man is kind. They lose interest because kindness becomes compliance. Compliance communicates one thing above all else: I will adjust myself to keep you. And that sentence, even unspoken, collapses authority. This is where Machiavelli becomes uncomfortable for modern men, because power was never about cruelty. It was about position: who adjusts, who waits, who remains intact when pressure appears. The second major revelation: women do not want to be emotionally led by a man who cannot lead himself. Self-leadership is invisible, but it dominates every interaction. A man who cannot tolerate discomfort rushes to resolve it. A man who can tolerate it lets it reveal information, and information is leverage. This is why silence works, not as a tactic, but as a consequence of internal control. The silent man is not quiet because he is afraid to speak. He is quiet because he is not compelled to fill space. And the one who is not compelled controls the pace. The practical consequence: when conflict appears, the common man tries to fix it, immediately, verbally, emotionally. He fears losing access. The conscious man does not fix. He stabilizes. He does not chase resolution. He observes behavior. And behavior always reveals truth faster than words. Women respond to this not consciously, but somatically. Their nervous system relaxes around a man who does not collapse under tension, because collapse signals danger. Not physical danger, emotional chaos. The third revelation, the most resisted: what women love, and almost never admit, is a man who can walk away without breaking. Not as a threat, not as punishment, but as reality. A man who cannot survive emotional loss becomes controlled by it, and control is never attractive when it comes from fear. This does not mean emotional coldness. It means emotional sovereignty. Your mood does not depend on her response. Your identity does not shrink without her validation. Your life does not pause waiting for permission. That independence is felt immediately, and it reorganizes the dynamic. Why this feels wrong to most men? Because most men were trained to equate attachment with virtue. But attachment without autonomy becomes dependency. And dependency invites manipulation, not because women are cruel, but because power vacuums are always filled. The man who cannot walk away teaches others how to treat him. The man who can walk away does not need to teach anything. His boundaries are self-evident. The final turn of perception. Here is the line most men cross too late. They try to treat women correctly, instead of treating themselves correctly in front of women. Women do not fall for how you treat them. They fall for how you treat your own standards, time, and emotional center. If you abandon yourself to keep harmony, you lose polarity. If you maintain yourself despite tension, you create it. This is why presence outweighs performance. Performance seeks reaction. Presence creates orientation. The man with presence does not chase alignment. Alignment forms around him. Final identity shift. The man who understands this stops asking, "What do women want?" and starts asking, "Who do I remain when outcomes are uncertain?" That question changes everything. The anxious man reacts. The grounded man conducts. The anxious man negotiates his value. The grounded man embodies it. And embodiment cannot be argued with. Some men will hear this and feel exposed, then return to old habits. Others will recognize something they've always felt but never named. Because truth doesn't convince, it resonates. And once it does, there is no going back. Not because it is empowering, but because it explains every silent failure that never made sense before. That is the cost of understanding, and also its advantage.